All right, let's dive into something that feels like it should be simple, but is actually, well, it's kind of like modern day alchemy. We're talking about how money is actually created. It happens every single day, all around us in our banking system, and I'm willing to bet it's not at all what you think. So let me ask you a question. When you get paid and you deposit that money into your bank account, what do you imagine is happening behind the scenes? What's the bank doing with your cash? Go on, picture it. Got it? Okay, because for pretty much all of us, what we think is going on and what's really going on are two completely different stories. Yeah, for most of us, that picture is probably something like a giant, super secure vault, right? A kind of money warehouse. We put our money in, the bank keeps it safe, and then maybe lends it out to someone else. It just seems so logical. But here's the thing, that's not the real story. In fact, it's not even close. This whole idea, this picture of the bank as just a big storage locker for money, it's so common we can actually give it a name, the money warehouse myth. And that's exactly what we're here to do today, bust that myth wide open. Now, some of you might be thinking, hang on, I learned about this in school. And you probably learned about something called fractional reserve banking. The idea, right, is that banks have to keep a fraction of your deposit, maybe 10% or so, in reserve, and then they can lend out the rest. But even this model still treats the bank like a middleman, just moving around money that already exists. And look, that was the textbook answer for decades. But the reality? Oh, the reality has become something much, much stranger. So if banks aren't just lending out the money we deposit, where in the world is all that loan money coming from? Okay, let's get right to the heart of it. This is how money is really made. And here it is. This is the big aha moment. The myth, the old story, tells us banks are just intermediaries. They're like financial movers, shifting existing cash from point A to point B. But the reality? Banks are creators. When a bank gives you a loan, it is not digging into someone else's savings. It is creating brand new money, poof, out of thin air. And you won't believe how simple the process is. Seriously. So, step one, you get approved for, say, a $10,000 loan. Step two, the bank doesn't go check its vault for the cash. And step three, an employee just types the numbers 10000 into your account. And poof, just like that, 10,000 brand new dollars that did not exist a second ago are now real. That digital entry, that is now part of the money supply. It's new money, created entirely as debt. Okay, I can hear you thinking, but what about those reserves, the fractional reserves? They have to hold something back, right? Well, that's where this whole story takes its most shocking turn. 0. 0%. That's right, as of 2020, right here in the United States, the official reserve requirement for banks was dropped to 0. They are not legally required to hold back any fraction of deposits. None. This was the final confirmation. Money creation isn't limited by some pile of cash in a vault. It's limited only by a borrower being approved and the bank's willingness to create the loan. So, what does all this actually mean? If pretty much all new money is just typed into existence when a bank makes a loan, well, that leads to a pretty profound conclusion about the foundation of our entire economy. This really gets to the core of it all. Think about it this way. The main job of a modern bank isn't really to store your money. It's to create new money. And since that creation happens through lending, our entire money supply is basically built on a foundation of debt. That mortgage you have, that car loan, these aren't just you borrowing money, they are literally acts of creating money. And that leaves us with one huge critical question. If basically every dollar that exists was born as an interest-bearing loan, what does that imply? What does that mean for economic growth, for inequality, for the stability of the whole system? Look, the answer isn't simple, but just understanding the question, well, that's the most important first step of all.
Hey y'all, I hope this helped you understand this stuff a little better. Let me know in the comments, and let me know if there is a topic you are curious about. Maybe I can help. You can also check out these two videos. Hope they help you. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hype this video. Always appreciate y'all, and thanks for stopping by the Stoop. God bless always.